year 2074. He likes a girl. She doesn't like him back, so he lashes out. That's his third strike, so he's sent to jail where he makes pizza and plays football. Borg, the artificial intelligence he created in school, gets him out of prison. Bo decides to go to South America to play football. Scout, Jem, and Atticus Finch all live in Macomb, Alabama. Jem and Scout want to see Boo Radley, but Atticus says they can't. Atticus is defending Tom Robinson. They lose the trial and Tom dies. Boo Radley saves Scout and Jem's lives from the angry prosecutor. Oedipus receives a prophecy that says he'll kill his father and marry his mother. Therefore, he runs away. He kills a man on the road. He defeats a sphinx and becomes the new king. A plague infests the kingdom, so they must find the king's murderer. Tiresias said it was Oedipus. The queen says that prophecies don't exist because hers never came true. It said her son would kill her husband and marry her. Oedipus finally gets it and stabs himself in the eyes. Prince says no more fighting. Romeo loves Rosaline. Romeo meets Juliet and they fall in love. They get married. Tybalt kills Mercutio. Romeo kills Tybalt. Romeo is banished. Juliet has to marry Paris, so she fakes her death. Romeo doesn't know and kills himself. Juliet wakes up, sees Romeo, and kills herself. One of the 5 Bennet sisters has to get married. Mr. Bingley moves in nearby. He has a friend named Mr. Darcy. Jane loves Bingley. Elizabeth loves Wickham. Elizabeth hates Darcy. Bingley leaves. Elizabeth hates Darcy even more. Elizabeth's cousin proposes. She rejects him. Elizabeth finds out the truth about Wickham and Darcy. Bingley comes back. Lydia marries Wickham. Elizabeth marries Darcy. And Jane marries Bingley. The island of Nollop's idol is Nevin Nollop, the supposed creator of the sentence, "The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog." Tiles fall off of his statue. The High Council bans all of the letters that fall off and give punishments to the people that use them. One of the council members, Rederick Little, lets them try to come up with a new sentence. Ella Minnow P finds the sentence, "Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs," in her father's letters. The island is saved. The animals rebel against their farmer because they feel like they aren't treated equally. The pigs take charge of the new farm. They build a windmill and are successful, but the pigs are bending the rules and end up being just like the farmer had been. Bernard Marx feels like he doesn't belong in the world state, which is filled with soma and sex. The director says he's sending Bernard away. Bernard blackmails the director with his long-lost lover and their son, John. John falls in love with Lenina, but he disapproves of her lifestyle. Bernard and Helmholtz are sent away, and John ends up killing himself. France is filled with revolution. England is filled with crime. Mr. Manette is freed from prison and reunites with his daughter. Sidney Carton saves Charles Darnay from going to prison. Sidney loves Lucy, but she'll never love him. He'll do anything for her. Lucy marries Charles. Charles is called back to France because a man was arrested in the name of his old family. Charles is arrested. Mr. Manette gets him out. Charles is arrested again and can't be saved because of the letters that Mr. Manette wrote many years ago. Sidney takes Charles's place and dies for Lucy's sake. Christopher Boone finds a dog with a gardening fork sticking into it and decides to write a book about him solving the murder. Through his investigation, he finds out about how his now-deceased mother had an affair. Mr. Boone gets angry and takes Christopher's book. Christopher finds letters from his mom when looking for his book. She is alive. Mr. Boone killed the dog. Christopher runs away to his mom. Christopher's dad apologizes and gives him a dog. Christopher gets an A on his math test. Laura doesn't get the guy, and Tom leaves. George's dream is to have his own farm. Lenny's dream is to tend rabbits on that farm. They both need to get money for this, so they work on ranches. On one of the ranches, a woman known as Curly's wife tells Lenny that her hair is soft. Lenny likes soft things. He was too rough when he was touching it and accidentally killed her. Curly says he'll kill Lenny, so George has to do it before Curly does. Hedda Gabler married George Tussman. She's pregnant now. Mrs. Elfstead comes looking for Eilert Lovberg, a rival to George. She's afraid he'll fall off the wagon. Lovberg goes out drinking, and George ends up with his manuscript. He gives it to Hedda, who destroys it. She gives Eilert a gun to kill himself. He is shot by a red-headed woman. Brock tries blackmailing Hedda, and Mrs. Elfstead tries to recover Lovberg's work with George. Hedda kills herself. Theseus and Hippolyta are going to get married. Aegeus wants his daughter Hermia to marry Demetrius, but she loves Lysander. Theseus says she must obey her father. Hermia and Lysander decide to elope. Helena is in love with Demetrius and tells him their plan. Titania refuses to give her adopted Indian boy to Oberon. He puts her under the spell of a flower to make her fall in love with a man whose head is a donkey. Puck puts the spell on Lysander, making him love Helena. The same happens to Demetrius. Oberon releases Titania from the spell as well as Lysander so that everyone is happy. They all get married. Bottom is turned back to his normal self.